Have you ever dreamed a dream that's so big it's all you could ever think about? I did. And this year, that dream's actually coming true.
Las Vegas, Nevada, a place where dreams can come true in an instant.
The best part? You can watch it happen. You see, my dream has always been to play in the big leagues. No, not that one. Yeah, that one. The World Series of Poker. In fact, competing in the same event as top pros like Phil Ivey and Daniel Negreanu has been my ultimate goal for as long as I can remember. So how did I get here? Even when I was still growing up back in the 90s, poker was already a huge part of my life. You could say it's in my blood because my entire family loved to sit down and play cards for hours on end. And since I was so interested in what they were doing, they'd let me sit with them during games, teaching me all about how to play and what the different rules were. So while other kids had Nintendo, I had poker. Well, I played Nintendo too. I started playing when I was 5, and before I was 10, I could list all the rules and strategies for 5 stud, 7 stud, no limit Texas Hold'em, no limit Omaha High, 5-card draw, crisscross, and countless other variants. But even though I loved poker, it wasn't very popular yet, so the rest of the world still had some catching up to do. Fortunately, that all changed in 2003. That's the year an average Joe named Chris Moneymaker won the WSOP main event, sparking the quote-unquote poker boom that made the game incredibly popular, ultimately selling the American dream that anyone can get rich overnight if they played their cards right. The main event grew massively after that and eventually became televised nationally. That year was like my Super Bowl, only I went from being the only fan in the stadium, being surrounded by tons of other people who were suddenly obsessed the same way I was. Before long, I was daydreaming about playing during the deep stages of the main event, trying my luck at life-changing sums of money. Fast forward to the present day, and it's clear I've let way too many main events pass me by. Well, not anymore. Playing in the World Series of Poker is not like your average dream. Unlike the Super Bowl, for instance, anyone could join the tournament. All you need is to be of legal age, 21 years old, and to have the money for the buy-in. Nevertheless, the amount won by first place last year was a staggering $12.1 million, and for comparison, Gotti Scheffler just won $3.6 million for winning the Masters, the most prestigious tournament in all of golf in which only the top professionals qualify for. That's a difference of $8.5 million, and when it comes to the WSOP, anyone can compete. Now here I am, currently far past 21, and I've never made an effort to try and play. But why not? Well, despite playing regularly for more than 25 years, I convinced myself that I wasn't strategically ready yet. On top of that, I was also afraid that the buy-in was too high for me to take a shot. $10,000 is a lot of money, especially when you'll be competing against over 10,000 people, only a fraction of who will actually take home cash. Poker is about odds, and for years, I was well aware that my odds of keeping my 10,000, let alone winning more, were not that great. But reality doesn't make dreams go away. In a lot of cases, it only makes the dream stronger. That's why I finally convinced myself it was time to let go of my limited beliefs and chase my dream. To spur myself on, I immediately booked a room in Las Vegas from July 3rd through July 11th. I couldn't back out. Next, I created a savings account specifically dedicated to generating the $10,000 I would need to buy a ticket for the World Series of Poker main event. After calculating the monthly deposit number, I set my bank account up to make automated contributions. This year marks the 55th edition of the World Series of Poker. The $10,000 no limit hold'em main event begins on July 3rd, with the champion being determined on July 17th. The WSOP is a big deal, with 99 events offering a wide variety of games and structures. For poker players, Las Vegas is where dreams are made. I guess it's time to make mine a reality. Of course, I couldn't keep something this big to myself. When I shared my plan on Twitter, the support was unbelievable. I talked about how it's always been a dream of mine, how I had already booked my room to make it a reality, and how I'd even hired a coach, Ian Matakis, the reigning WSOP Player of the Year. Along with my goal, I posted some poker wins that will help contribute to my main event buy-in. And just to add some excitement, I posted updates on my savings account. The way I saw it, this would allow people to sort of cheer me on as I work towards my funding goal, but it ended up doing a lot more than that. This post ended up catching the attention of a lot of people, including the legendary Benz, who offered me $1,000 for 5% of my action. Benz is a high-stakes slots and poker player who's notorious for offering stakes to players in the poker community out of pure goodwill. He's the man, and I look forward to meeting him this summer. Then there was my friend Justin, who I met at the WSOP in Cherokee a few years back. He also decided to contribute to my growing fund, locking up another $500. Now, I don't plan on selling any more action until this summer when I figure out exactly how much I have saved up. Ideally, I would keep as big of a percentage of my action as possible and sell as needed. Of course, I also didn't didn't expect people to come out of the woodwork to support me. And the good news about having poker players, family members, and friends already interested in taking a percentage is that it pretty much guarantees I'll be playing this year. With the support of the poker community on my side, my room booked, and a suddenly padded bankroll, there's virtually no backing out at this point. I have to tell you, it's pretty exciting to say the least. In just a few months, I'll be on poker's biggest stage, competing against poker players from all different backgrounds and skill levels. And following a record-breaking amount of entries in 2023, we're likely going to see the biggest prize pool in live poker history this year. And the clock's ticking. In fact, I can feel the excitement in my bones. I'm on the cusp of realizing a dream I've had since I was 10 years old. Going to be the biggest challenge I've ever faced. I'm ready. After all, this is what I've been working towards my whole life. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I can promise you it's going to be extremely interesting. The road to the main event will be a high volume mix of playing online poker, traveling for live tournaments, and studying religiously. Then there's my Discord study group, which meets every Tuesday night. I'll also continue to work one-on-one with my technical coach, Ian Matakis. So if you're interested in following my journey, go ahead and subscribe now. I'm going to be documenting the entire road leading up to the main event between now and July. I plan to be as financially, strategically, and mentally prepared as possible. That way, I can feel confident that I'll give it my best effort. Until then, my head will be down, and I'll be working hard on both my game and building up the main event savings account. Stay tuned for more episodes of the Road to the World Series of Poker main event.
We're just a kid with a dream, and it may actually come true.